Hello Crushers, and welcome back to our Heroes Magnified series. It's been quite a while since we've been able to present one of these videos, and I'm excited to bring you not only another video within the series, but a new recommendation for newer players as well. This is largely due to the introduction of the Paragon system. Today's Heroes Magnified video will be focused on Dark Knight, who will be replacing Gladiator as the most effective choice for a new player starting in Crush Them All. If you're new to my channel, I welcome you and would encourage you to both like and subscribe. Subscribing to this channel means you can catch all my videos as they come out and stay up to date on all the latest Crush Them All news and information. As mentioned, Dark Knight will be replacing Gladiator as the best rare tank for a newer player to Crush Them All. This is largely due to the introduction of prismatic shards in the Paragon system. Knight heroes have another option in the Paragon system for Knight Shield HP, meaning that maxed out with HP rooms and Paragon investment, you'll have a better tank in Dark Knight than you would in Gladiator. Dark Knight also doesn't suffer from the weakness to fire. In fact, he only has a ×2 weakness to light, and light DPS heroes aren't super common. There are still other heroes more beneficial due to their 4-star abilities, but these tend to be epic heroes like Shelly or Ice Cube, which are harder to get medals for than heroes like Dark Knight. The recommendation of going for Dark Daily Dungeons is remaining the same, so you should max him naturally in a relatively short amount of time, but this can be sped up with magic medals if you feel it appropriate. I would also like to mention that Dark Knight does have a drawback of being susceptible to enemy pushback, so heroes like Aqua, Ra, and Goddess could pose a threat and slowly push your frontline backwards. Watch for those heroes and either come with a plan to mitigate the threat, or bring a Barbarian tank with anti-knockback to avoid the effect. I've already covered some pretty big points, but let's focus in here. Dark Knight can be used as a proper wall tank or primary tank. He only suffers from a ×2 weakness to light, and he dishes that same ×2 out to light heroes. That said, there generally aren't many people running light tanks, so you're not going to take advantage of that too often. Generally speaking, if you're hitting a backline DPS hero like Crunk or Tesla, then you've likely already won this battle since your tank is still alive and theirs isn't. His move speed is pretty decent, so he'll get further towards your enemies, soaking up damage faster, while also triggering an enemy Kasume or Thor into teleporting earlier, meaning your DPS will be hitting them sooner and taking them down faster. His 2-star ability is Rapid Hit, which is a pretty standard multi-hit, and for an invested Dark Knight, he can do quite a bit of damage thanks to this as well. While this shouldn't be your priority, it also wouldn't be detrimental if you rushed him to 8 stars, got 5, 6, or even 7 awakens on him, and gave him a level 9 weapon. And after maxing his relevant tank-related Paragon traits, you could safely invest into his DPS in Paragon, namely attack per second, attack, critical chance, and critical damage. This can help him help your DPS cut through enemy tanks faster, if he is your only and your first real 8-star hero. Then he'll likely be your biggest damage dealer until you've properly raised a DPS hero to stand behind him. It takes time to build up a proper team with 8-star heroes, so pace yourself properly and play to your own strengths. You can always pacify Dark Knight at a later time if he proves to stop being effective for you, or because you have a better tank option to utilize. Dark Knight's 3-star ability isn't relevant as we would never use that ability or try to use it. There are always better alternatives. His 4-star ability debuffs enemy defense. At 8 stars, this is a 250% debuff, which is helpful, but not great. It is more useful against other 8-star heroes that do have more defense in general, so it has more of an impact for those matchups, but we're not really investing into him for his debuff. But due to the Paragon Knight Shield HP, it does make him better than some alternatives like Chaos, who does the same thing. The ability is not blatantly useless, but it's not a great ability either. On a scale of 1 to 5, I'd rank this ability as a 2.5 or so. Let me know what you think in the comment section below regarding this. I'd be very curious to hear what you think. Dark Knight may have a lowered elemental weakness than many other popular tanks, but he still has some pretty hard counters. Light DPS heroes such as Crunk, Seraph, Sir Shu, Monkey Roboti, and Tesla can really do some damage against him. The best way to mitigate these threats is to get Dark Hunter, who lowers the attack of enemy heroes. Which isn't a perfect way to mitigate these threats, but definitely helps. Dark Hunter will likely be your first strong DPS hero, being both dark and easily obtainable from many sources. Running both Dark Hunter and Dark Knight will help in debuffing your enemy heroes, helping you to handle them easier. So there is some decent synergy existing between these two as well. Regarding synergy, there aren't many heroes that offer direct synergy, but in general some good options to run with him would be Scud, Monkey Robati, and Onyx. Onyx in particular is relatively good in and of herself, especially with the new Paragon system in place. Likewise, Monkey Mortar also offers some good synergy for all of your dark heroes, and functions pretty good as a DPS hero himself, despite there not being a ton of light tanks to contend with at this time. Dark mono teams will often be seen running these heroes, as well as Kage, Dark Hunter, Trickster, Kasume, Vlad, and Sorrow. I do recommend leaning heavily into dark daily dungeons for newer players, and these dark heroes all positively contribute to that recommendation. All of the dark heroes I mentioned offer support in various aspects. Find what you feel is a good balance and focus on what works for you. Don't lean too heavily into something you don't enjoy when team building. There are a lot of good options, and some of those options happen to complement each other quite well. I'd like to spend a moment to discuss runes for Dark Knight. As with other knights, the best sets for him will be Flanks, Vitality, and Nimble. Ideally, you'd have HP primaries on all 9 runes. For secondary rune traits, look for as much move speed as possible, as little attack range as possible, and attack when possible. The HP primary traits are most important, but if you can get him moving fast with little to no attack range, then that would be ideal. In fact, avoiding attack range and gaining move speed is worthwhile enough that Mr. Moogle recommended dropping to 4-star runes when necessary. I would not recommend alternative sets for Dark Knight, as these are truly the best options for him. If you find yourself in a position where you must get a different set, then you could substitute with Guard runes or Resist runes as a third set, but again, I would not recommend doing that unless you felt you had no choice whatsoever. In summary, I will stress again that there are better tanks, such as Shelly, Ice Cube, and Ornok. However, Dark Knight proves to be a strong candidate for main tank for many players, and the best option for newer players. Again, I recommend Dark Knight over Gladiator, with the Paragon system allowing Knight Shield HP improvements. This gives Dark Knight more HP overall than Gladiator when everything else is the same. This is a massive boon to newer players and free-to-play players who can work on their dark pools while also maintaining a strong competitive edge for PvP modes like Arena and Guild War. Press the advantage early on, and you'll work yourself up to a really decent looking tank in the end. As I wrap up today's video, I'd like to thank several Discord users who helped contribute to the content covered today. Namely, I'd like to thank Mithras, USO Remix, and Mr. Moogle. I'd also like to thank users such as yourself who watch my videos and encourage me to continue making content. Your contributions are more appreciated than you know. If you'd like to support this channel in other ways, there are several things you can do. Comments, likes, and subscribing are great ways to show your support. You can also show your support financially by contributing to my Patreon. The link to becoming a patron of this YouTube channel is in the description below this video as well. That's all the time we have for today. I appreciate you watching this video through to the very end. Thanks for watching.